Hello developers. In part 2 of this series we have seen text elements and text options for Streamlit framework. Now we will see data elements for Streamlit web app. First of all we will start with st.dataframe. It prints data frame. So the method signature as we have seen in text options is like this: st.dataframe. First option is data. By default it is none. Width we pass in pixels to display data of certain width. If by default it is none, so if nothing is passed, uh, element a predefined width is taken. Same as height, a value is in pixel. If not, by default it is none. Use container width is option to use container width is option to if it is a boolean, by default it is false. If it is true, then the value is then it takes parent elements width, and it takes precedence over this width. So if this is true and this width has some value, then this will take precedence. Hide index, it will hide data frame index. We will see in example. Column order, we can set our custom column order for data frame. And then column config is by default all these are none. Column config is a dictionary with which we can configure our column properties. Let us see an example. I have created a data frame of stock prices for 5 different dates with open and close price. I have set index for the data frame is date. Then I have passed all the options, so I will delete first, then okay. So let's see what happens in the application. This data frame is displayed, and by the way, this empty data frame is printed. This is because we have kept our column this definition, we have not commented it, so I will comment it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's see side by side what is happening here. So this data frame is saved, so this data frame is displayed here. Now if I pass a certain width is equal to some 400 pixel, and height also, height is equal to 400, and save it. This height is readjusted to these heights. Now let's see. Use container width true. Save it. So this data frame has taken width of the parent element. This width has no effect whatsoever on this thing. If I make it false and save it, the width of the data frame has changed to 200 pixel, although it is not visible, but you got the point. This container width takes precedence over this width. Then another option is, so I have seen data, width, height, use container width. So another option is column order. So column order is for custom ordering of our data frame, and it takes a iterable string as shown here. Column order takes an iterable string. By default it is none. So we will pass column order is equal to, we will pass a tuple. So by default open is at first place, and then it is close. Once I save it, hold on a second, save it. So column order here I will say close is my first at first order, and then open is in second place. I should rerun this. This width is not working. So see here, this column order we have passed. So close has become first column, and then open has become second column. Then another option is hide index. If you want to hide this index column of date, we can pass hide underscore index is equal to true. This is boolean, so hide underscore index true. You can pass and save it, and then I click on always rerun. So we have got only open and close. Now we are going to see one of the most difficult and important topic of this data frame data element, that is called column config. Column config is a dictionary. Dictionary means we can pass many options for each column, and those options are takes so look at this data frame. This data frame has 4 columns: name, URL, stars, and viewing history for 30 days for each of these three options: roadmap, extras, and issues. For each of these 3 options, the stars are generated for 30 years between the range of 0 to 500. So this thing is creating random numbers for 30 days between 0 to 5000 for these 3 options 1, 2, and 3. So this data frame is printed on my Streamlit web app. Let's see that. So this is first roadmap, then URL for roadmap, stars, and then for 30 days this data is displayed. We can zoom it. So for okay, now we will pass some column options to customize this data frame according to our needs. So I will pass column config. Column config is equal to column config, or I say config. Column config is equal to my config. My config I'm just going to define right now. So I have already taken, I will rename it to my config, and I will uncomment this. So this my config is configured for each of the column. First column is name. So for that name column, first column is name. For name column, I have changed the name to app name. Then stars. So stars is a number column. Description is GitHub stars. Help is given number of stars on GitHub, and then the format is numeric with star as emoji. Then URL. So it is link column. Link column, and name for link column is app URL. Then viewing history, we can here line chart is displayed. So each 30-day data, will be plotted as a line chart. On saving this data frame with my config column options will display on the Streamlit web app. Let us see that. So this wonderful graph has come for, and this numbers you are seeing 81, 3422, and something like that. For each of this option is there. More on the column config options is available in Streamlit official documentation page. In this data elements, st.column config, column, text column, number column, checkbox column, select box column. So we can create checkboxes, we can create date column, time column, list column, link column, and line chart column, bar chart column, and progress bar, etc. So all these options are there. You can look into it. One more GUI feature of Panda st.dataframe is we can sort on clicking on headers. We can resize columns, and we can search on data frame by typing Control and F. So Control F, as we type in our documents and windows, we can search here using Control F. Okay. Now another option is, another data element is data editor. Data editor. Data editor has same signature as data frame, but with some additional options like uh, number of rows, disabled columns, key, on change, orgs, and keyword orgs. So we will see some of them. So data editor, now first let us remove column config for now. So this data editor, if I want, this data editor will be editable, so user can edit this data frame and save the data. Let us see in the app. So this GitHub stars are there 495. I can do it 496. I think I have typed something wrong. So 436. Okay, got it. These data values, as you have seen, they are changing randomly. I was unsure why these are happening, but the point is, in the data frame we are generating these values randomly, randint 0 to 1000. So every time this I edit the change, since the web page is rerun from top to bottom, this random values are calculating again and again. So that's why they are getting changed. So let us take some static data frame on which we can change the data. So we have taken this data frame from Streamlit official website. This data frame has 3 columns: command, rating, and is widget. So command is st.selectbox, st.balloons, st.time input, and so on. So when we pass this data frame to st.data editor, the edited data frame value is available in edited df variable. Edited data frame is a data frame. Okay. So here in this command we are finding favorite command based on the rating of the command. So if we change the rating of the command, rating value of the command, see in this data frame, so this command rating is there. So if we change the rating of the command, the favorite command will change. Suppose I will do 25. So this value is 25. So st.balloons is my favorite command. Here if I do 40, then st.selectbox is my favorite command. If it is widget or not, I can select it. Okay. So this is functioning because of the magic of data editor data element. What it is doing, this edited data frame is available, so it is finding the location of rating with max value and giving me command. So edited data frame, max value, and then it is printing st.mark in a markdown file, markdown row. Your favorite command is favorite command available here. Okay. We can pass um, one more option, that is number of rows. Number of rows takes two argument, either fixed or dynamic. by default it is fixed. So when fixed, number of this, we cannot add any row to the data frame. But if we make it dynamic, okay, so one more command which we can pass is disabled command. Disabled command is either boolean, means true or false, or a list of columns which are disabled for editing. So if disabled is true, no column is editable. See here, disabled is true, I am clicking here but nothing is editable. Now if it is false, all columns are editable. So the column is editable and the value is changed. We can see st.timeinput2 is our favorite command. Okay. Now if we pass a list of column names which are editable, which are disabled for editing, then I can pass these in an array. So if I say is visit and command both are disabled, then only rating column, so this is disabled, this is disabled, I am not able to make it editable, but this rating column is editable. So favorite command is still st.selectbox. But here is one catch. Now if I add num rows to dynamic, then what will happen? It will allow to add number of rows like this, but it will not allow to change the command value because it is disabled. This column is disabled and this column is disabled, but I can add a rating value to that's working. So if we allow to add number of rows, then it makes sense to allow column editing by default. Another option is st.table. Third data, another element is st.table. What it does is it st.table. What it does is it prints a static table which is stationary. Let us see an example and understand it. So st.table, and we pass data frame. Last option is st.metric. st.metric, this data element is this is used to display some measurement metric, to display the value of metric and how this value has changed. So here label is here in this case, this temperature is current value is 70 degree Fahrenheit, and the delta means the change is 1.2 degree Fahrenheit, and this metric is displayed in big bold fonts in the web page. I will rerun. Forgot to save, so I will save it. So this 70 degree Fahrenheit is changed by 1.2 degree Fahrenheit, and it is displayed in very bold font. So let us consult the documentation. So it is like this only. And then another optional parameter is delta color. So delta color is normal, inverse or off, means the color of change matrix. And then optional argument help is there, and then label, whether we want label to be visible or false. So let us experiment with some of it. So label visibility to false. What has happened? So there are some more options are there. So label is temperature, value is something, this delta is change, delta color is inverse, normal or off. Then label visibility means this temperature will be visible or not, and so if it is hidden, this temperature will not be this temperature label will not be shown, and if it is visible, then the temperature will be visible. So that's it for now for this part 3 of this series. In next part we will see how we can plot data in the form of charts using graphs, various graphs in the Streamlit app. Thank you guys. Bye bye.